Governor DeSantis out of Florida has completely ignored CDC guidelines as far as coronavirus is concerned. He's not forced people to wear a mask. He's actually made a statewide ban on cities who are enforcing mask mandates and said, no, you cannot do mask mandates. So technically, the cities can do mask mandates, but they cannot enforce them by law. They can only have a recommendation, pretty much. Because the governor not only wants his state to be open, but does not want to acknowledge what is going on with COVID-19. And it's crazy. So, there's a data scientist by the name of Rebecca Jones who was fired from working for the state. Now, the reason why she was fired from working for the state is because when Florida reopened, Governor DeSantis and state officials wanted the coronavirus data manipulated to look better. And, when she said, no, I'm not going to do that, they fired her for insubordination. Now, you might say, oh, that sounds crazy, or that doesn't, it sounds wild. Absolutely it does. But you know what? He's also a Trump supporter. This is how Trump supporters operate. From stop the steal to fire the data scientist for doing her job, they have no problem with manipulation. These sycophantic, Trump-supporting politicians. Now, she said, okay, well, since they're going to fire me, pretty much, I'm just going to release the data on my own, independently, so that people can know the truth of what's going on with the virus. So she set up on her computer her own website and started releasing coronavirus data independently from the government of the state of Florida. When that happened, when she decided to do this, all of a sudden it was alleged that documents were stolen, quote unquote, from the State Department, and the police had a warrant to raid her house. Now, I want you to watch what happens during this raid because she did record it. And I want you to really think long and hard about the coincidence that after only a few days of her launching her own site, somehow her house gets raided by the state for quote unquote stolen data. Let's watch.
Come outside. Outside.
Who else is in the house, ma'am?
My 2 children and my husband.
Where's your husband at?
Calm down. Calm down.
You want the children down?
Call them all down.
Mr. Jones, come down the stairs. Now!
Police, come down now.
Search warrant.
Bring your
Come down the
children.
stairs.
My children!
Glenn, hang on. Let me clear behind
He
you.
just pointed a gun at my children!
Search warrant.
Guns pointed at her children, at her husband, in her own home. Guns pointed at her and her children, in her own home, for telling the truth about the virus. This is abuse of power. Governor DeSantis, not only should he resign, in my opinion, he should be in jail. Because this is extortion. That's really what you're doing. You're extorting her for data. And you're using the police to do it. This is crazy. The fact that this woman wants to get the truth out about the virus that you and your state are hiding, and you and your state are literally killing people by not having a mask mandate. She wants to get the truth out. You raid her house. You try to scare her back into submission. This is what you do. This is what you do. All this to keep a state open so that you can run your economy. Now listen, if the state of Florida wants to stay open, I don't have a problem with it. Yes, would it be safer if the state closed? Yes. But I don't have a problem with the state staying open if people socially distance and wear masks. But they're not doing that. There's no wearing masks. Matter of fact, I went to Miami on vacation over the summer, like the beginning of September. No one was wearing a mask. I felt I was the only person wearing a mask. Literally. No one was wearing a mask. I'm like, what the hell? I gotta get out of here. But yeah, you know, Miami, beautiful city, by the way. But yeah, so guns pointed at her in her own home. In her own home. Because she allegedly stole some data. Only about a week after she got fired for refusing to manipulate COVID-19 information. Sounds like an abuse of power. DeSantis has done so many things to ensure, you know, that COVID-19 was downplayed. But this is an outright cover-up. This is a scandal. This should be on the front page of every major media outlet. Because he's literally using his power to try to cover up and suppress information on COVID-19. This is crazy, man. I hope that her family is good. I hope her kids are good. You know, they might need some counseling, man. That's traumatizing, especially to have a gun pointed at you by a police officer. It's traumatizing enough. I've had that happen to me before as a black man in the city of Philadelphia. But to have it happen in your own home, that's just outrageous. It's outrageous. And to have it happen in your own home because a governor of a state wants to cover up information about a coronavirus. There's literally 1 million infections right now in Florida. 1 million people are infected with this virus in the state of Florida. 1 million. And you want to pretend like everything is normal. And anybody who doesn't play into that reality that you've created for yourself, anyone who doesn't play into that, you're just like, oh, let's get rid of them. Let's scare them into submission. Let's raid their home. Let's point guns at their kids. All so that the state can stay open and make money, and so that people don't have transparent information on the virus. What a corrupt dipshit. What a piece of shit. I'm going to read you some tweets from her responding to this incident. And that's how I'm going to end this segment. So she says, there will be no updates today. At 8:30 this morning, state police came into my house and took all my hardware and tech. They said they were serving a warrant on my computer after the DOH filed a complaint. They pointed a gun at my face. They pointed a gun at my kids. She continues in a second tweet. They took my phone and my computer I use every day to post the case numbers in Florida and the school cases for the entire county. They took evidence of corruption at state level. They claimed it was about a security breach. This was DeSantis. He sent the Gestapo. This is what happens to scientists who do their job honestly. This is what happens to people who speak truth to power. I tell my husband and my 2 children are upstairs. I tell them that my husband and 2 children are upstairs. And then one of them draws a gun on my children. This is DeSantis, Florida. Or DeSantis. Look, getting his name right doesn't matter. What matters is he's abusing his power. Attention needs to be brought to this. And he needs to be brought to justice. Because quite frankly, if we can allow our politicians to be this corrupt at the state level, you know, what security do we really have left in our democracy? The federal government's already corrupt. If our state government can be this corrupt, man, we might as well just throw democracy out the window. Yay, dictatorship.